Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. Thank you for joining me for this video. And we're going to talk a little bit about Richard Sherman's situation, as it seems like he's still awaiting the right opportunity to play with a contender. So what's important to Richard Sherman right now? Well, obviously, as I mentioned, being on a team that has a chance to make a deep run in the playoffs, potentially a Super Bowl at age 33, when it comes to Sherman, obviously that's going to be at the top of his mind, but he also wants to get paid. I mean, when he came onto the 49ers, a lot of people, well, some people, even NFL players, criticized him for the type of contract that he signed, where it was a bunch of incentives and all like that, which, I mean, obviously if you reach those incentives and you do what he did to basically put him in that situation, you're good. But a lot of stuff happened that could prevent you, like injuries and all like that, or just a lot of different factors that can impact your numbers. And so certainly understand that was more of a risk, but he wants to sign that last big payday at 33 years old as a cornerback. This is usually where you prepare for it to start going downhill. Now, maybe, I've seen guys extend their career by being moved over to like safety. I think of Charles Woodson and how long he was able to play by making this something like that happen. So maybe that's a possibility for Richard Sherman. I do know, in terms of potential suitors, teams like the Seahawks, he's been linked to a reunion there with Pete Carroll, despite the fact that, over the last couple of years, all we heard is that, he has not been happy ever since that Super Bowl loss to the Patriots. And it just seemed like downhill. And then obviously, him and Russell Wilson back in the day. But it seemed like, as time moves on, he'd be open to that. Obviously, returning to the 49ers. And if he wants to play for a contender, that's his best option right there. It does make a little bit of sense, I think, for Dallas to at least consider it, just because, obviously, having Dan Quinn there, and then what they're trying to do down there. And they certainly can use a veteran's presence in that secondary. But I don't think that would happen, though. But I'm just saying, on paper, I think that would make a lot of sense. And the Las Vegas Raiders, I would definitely love to see him there, add another veteran presence. I know they signed Casey Haywood, so they probably wouldn't go after someone like someone like Richard Sherman, but I know John Gruden was definitely high on Richard Sherman. So at age 33, his veteran presence is going to be extremely well. There's gonna obviously he's not the same in terms of what he was when he was in his prime, so nowhere near that, but he's still a good player. And so at age 33, you probably can get another year or two out of him before you really have to at least consider that position switch that I mentioned earlier. So apparently, some, though, in the league believe that the 49ers have zero interest in bringing Sherman back, apparently, under any circumstances. So it may not be a money thing. And if you're a 49ers, I mean, you've got a pretty solid team already. And so Richard Sherman's not really a need for them unless, knock on wood, unless an injury were to happen. But no, I would like to see Richard Sherman probably go to Dallas, or either go to the Raiders. I would like to see one of those two things happen. But we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, if he wants to play for a contender, maybe a big injury happens. And then, obviously, if an injury happens, he's a guy that can come in and, add that experience and stuff. He's extremely smart, got some length to him. And so we'll see how that works out, But barring an injury, he's certainly not going to get the money that he's hoping for, especially this late in free agency. At this point, like all the spending that was taking place earlier wasn't there. And even some of the bigger receivers, I know mostly it was like, well, I say receivers, some of the bigger free agents that was mostly receivers, ended up having to settle this year due to the reduced salary cap. So positions like receivers, defensive backs, all of those guys, they're not getting the big bucks that, they probably would if the salary cap was more so regular, like what it's been in the years past, but due to the decrease, they took the largest hit, I think. But offensive linemen have done pretty well, though. I mean, just look at Trent Williams with the Washington. I mean, from the Washington football team to the 49ers. That was definitely a great move there. But with all that being said, though, Richard Sherman is going to be waiting. It seems like a little bit longer. Play this out. And at age 33, it's not like he necessarily needs to be in camp. It's just a matter of the perfect opportunity and for the right price. And so obviously he's going to have to probably lower that price. Well, I say probably, definitely he's going to have to lower whatever he's asking for. But yeah, he can add value to some locker room. And at some point, I expect for Richard Sherman to sign with someone once the right opportunity presents itself. But with all that being said, thank you so much for joining me for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I'd love to keep you guys updated with situations like this. So continue to watch. I appreciate the support that you show on my channel. It means a lot to me. And with that being said, see you guys next time.